Welcome, snare drum players. This video is for students who play the snare drum in beginning band. You may already have been familiar with how to set up your drum, but in case you forget, here's a couple tips and tricks of how to get your drum stand set up. There are two pieces of your drum stand, the base and the top that holds the drum. I'm going to start with the base. There are 3 feet that I need to pull apart just so the pads can lay flat. Your drum stand may look a little bit differently from mine, but when I pull this out, I don't want it to push all the way down to the bottom, but just so you can have a wide, sturdy base. The wider and the flatter these pads are, the more stable your drum is, and the less likely it will be to fall over. Once I found a good distance for my 3 base feet here at the bottom, I can go ahead and tighten this screw. You turn it to the right. Think right, tight. Once it's tight, I can set it on the floor. The second piece I've got is the top of the drum, or the top of the drum stand. To move this shaft all the way to the open position, I want to loosen this screw. Anytime we have a screw on our drum stand, think lefty loosey, or left loose, righty tighty, or right tight. I'm going to do left loose to loosen it. I don't need to loosen it so much that the whole screw comes off. Just a couple turns will do. After loosening it a few turns, I can freely move this piece. And I want to move it straight up and down from the top of my stand here. Now I can right tight until the gears lock into place and it won't move anymore. Now I can place this part inside the bottom piece that I just assembled. We'll be able to raise and lower this later, but I'm sure that about the side width of your hand is a good length of how far your drum should be. Now I can right tight the screw to hold it in place. To put my drum on top, I can fold the top hands down like this. And I know all drum stands can be a little bit different. Mine has this spinning part right here. Once I set my drum on top, if I want to secure that drum in place, I can turn this and you'll see it'll slowly raise up these hands to grip them around the drum. That's a good idea to do just so your drum doesn't accidentally fall off. You don't need to make it super tight because your drum is heavy enough that it'll support itself. But this just helps the drum stay snug and in place. I'm going to set this on the floor in front of me. Just make sure my height is adjusted right. And then I'm going to place my drum on top. Your drum has 2 sides to it. It has what's called the drum head, where you hit with your drumsticks, and it also has the drum head label, and then it has the snare side, or the bottom of the drum. Sometimes the snare side is clear, but regardless of what color the snare side is, you will see these long curly metal cues. Those are called the snares. That's what makes your drum have a rattling sound every time you hit it. I'm going to place the snare side down on top of those 3 heads. And then once your drum is, I'm lifting this up. You don't have to lift up your drum, but I'm lifting this up so you can see. I can tighten this bottom thing just to make these clasps a little tighter on the drum. If you have a space in your home where you can leave your drum set up, or maybe just move it off to the corner of your practice space, that would be ideal. So you don't have to set up and take down your drum every single time. But if you just don't have the space for that, that is okay. You are welcome to disassemble your whole drum stand and then reassemble it each time you practice. The height of my drum should be about waist high, so that when I'm standing here with my drumsticks, if my elbow is at a 90-degree angle, my hands should just hover a few inches above the drum. If my drum stand is too high, if I had it like this, then when I put my elbow at a 90-degree angle and my stick pointing straight out, my stick is below the drum head, and I would have to lift it up here and bend my wrist just to try and hit the drum head, or I'd have to lift my elbows way up high to try and hit the drum head, and that's not proper drum technique. So that means it's too high and you need to lower it. If your drum is too low, then when you go to play, if I was up here, then I'd have to reach down, and you shouldn't have your elbow fully extended. It should be at a nice 90 degrees, which is why I'm choosing to sit down when I play my drum, because I'm a tall guy and this drum stand isn't quite so tall for me. So I'm going to sit down when I play. You are welcome to sit or stand. You might have to stand so that your elbows can be at 90 degrees, sticks pointed straight out, and hover a few inches above the drum. Let's get started. To play your drum, we need to hold our sticks. Most drumsticks have some sort of brand or label on them, and that label is almost halfway or 2/3 of the way toward the tip of the drumstick. You'll notice that your drumstick has two ends, a thicker, solid end, and on the other end, it gets thinner and comes off to this point. Clearly, this is the end that you use to beat the drum. When I go to hold my drumsticks, there are 3 easy steps. I'm going to, pinch my drumstick between my first finger, my pointer finger, and my thumb. Make sure when you do this pinch that there is a space right here behind your drumstick and behind your fingers. I'm not grabbing my drumstick like a lollipop with no space. See how there's no space around here? You don't just grab your drumstick with a fist and start hitting your drum. That'll force you to bend your wrist, lift your elbow up, and like I said before, that's not good drum posture. So I take my first finger and my thumb and I pinch the stick right at that label. Step 1, pinch. Step 2, you gently wrap your fingers around the drum. Notice I still have a little gap in here in my fingers and in my hand. I'm not grabbing the entire stick with my fist. You pinch and wrap. The third step is to point. You point your stick straight away from yourself, and it should hover a few inches above the drum head. Let's review those 3 steps. At the label on your sticks, you pinch, wrap, and point. Let's try it again. Shake out your hands, shake out your sticks. Find that label, pinch, wrap, and point. Now I'm ready to play the snare drum. Your drum should have come with our Sound Innovations method book for percussion. Go ahead and pull out that method book right now and turn to page 5. You'll find the page numbers on the top corners of your music book. Before we play our first song in the book, we're going to do some rhythm echoes. I'm going to go first by playing a rhythm with my sticks, and then I want you to go ahead and echo me back. I'm going to tell you the sticking that I use. Sticking is an important term in snare drum. The sticking means if you're using your right hand to hit the drum or your left hand to hit the drum. Right now, as we echo, I want you to say the sticking out loud, just like I do. So you're going to do everything I do. My turn, I will go first. Right, 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 right. Your turn. Excellent. My turn. Left, 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 left. Your turn. Nice job. Double check. Are you holding your sticks correctly? Find the label, pinch, wrap, and point. You don't need to swing your arms all the way up above your shoulders and above your head to play the snare drum. All you need to do is a steady up and down motion, straight up and down. When you hold your sticks, you can even angle your elbows out just a little bit if you need some extra space to hit the drum. So you don't want to suck your elbows into your sides, but you also don't want to have wings that you're going to fly away. That's a common problem, and I always tell my snare drum players, stop flying away on me, tuck your elbows in a little bit more. Let's do another echo. My turn first. right, right, left, left. Your turn. Nice job. My turn. Left, left, right, right. Your turn. Excellent. My turn. Right, right, left, left. Your turn. My turn. Left, right, left, right. Your turn. Let's do two more. Nice job so far. Right, right, left, left, left. Your turn. My turn. Last one. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left. Your turn. Nice job. If you had some troubles playing with your right or left drumstick, go ahead and rewind this video just a minute or two and replay those echoes with me. If you think you're ready to go, then look at page 5 in your book on song number 2. Every song in our music book has a number that goes with it. It even has a play-along track, but I'll show you guys how to find the play-along tracks at our next music lesson. Look at song number 2. Song number 2 has notes called quarter notes, and each of those quarter notes has the letter R or L written above it. Do you remember what we call those right and left symbols? That's called the sticking. So, for song number 2, every time we see the letter R above our music note, we use our right hand to do the sticking. Every time we see the letter L, you use your left hand to do the sticking or to do the playing. Every time you see a quarter note, you hit the drum once with that hand. Song number 2 starts with 4 quarter notes, and the sticking is all with our right hand. So we go right, 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 right. After we play those first 4 notes, you see 4 squiggles. Those squiggles, you might remember from music class, are called rests. That squiggle rest lasts for 1 beat, and there's 4 of them in the row. So if I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4. I count 4 beats of rest. The best way to count a rest when you're playing snare drum is not to hit your drum, because remember, a rest is silent, but you do a pulse or a little movement with your drumsticks in your lap to feel that beat. Watch me. I'm going to play song number 2 all the way through so you can see what it means to play with your right stick, left stick, and to pulse the rest beats. Here I go. My turn first. Right, 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 right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left, 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 left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, 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 right. It's easy. Let's play it together this time. Don't forget, you can count out loud on those rests. Here's song number 2. 1, 2, and ready, go. Right, 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 right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left, 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 left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, 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 right. And that's it. Go ahead and try that one again. I'm going to move on to song number 3. Song number 3 has 2 rows of sticking. The goal is to play the whole song using just the top row of sticking. Then you play the song again using the bottom row of sticking. The top row of sticking for song number 2 says R, L, R, L. That means left, right, left, right. We also see more of those squiggles. What were those squiggles called again? Those are called rests, and we need to count those with our mouths. You might also see in song number 3 at the very beginning, it says S, D. That stands for snare drum. Sometimes in percussion, we have to rotate instruments if a concert song calls for a triangle or maracas. These songs in our music book, we're just going to do the snare drum songs since that's our primary instrument. Let's try song number 3. Here we go, all together. Double check you're holding your sticks correctly. Find the label, pinch, wrap, and point. Here's song number 3. 1, 2, ready, go. Right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, left. Nice job. Let's play song number 3 again using the lower line of sticking, the second line of sticking. This one starts with your left hand. Here we go. Song number 3 using the bottom line of sticking. 1, 2, ready, go. Left, right, left, right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left, right, left, right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left, right. That's it. Hopefully you're getting the hang of it by now. If you're not, don't worry about it. We've got lots of time to practice this. Feel free to go back and play this song a couple more times. I'm going to move on to song number 4, 2-note tango. Don't forget to follow the sticking and to watch out for those rests. Even if we just have one rest all by itself, we still feel that pulse. This time, instead of speaking the sticking out loud, I want to start speaking the counting out loud. I can follow this sticking with my eyes, but what's most important as a snare drum player is that you are counting the rhythms every single time. We are never going to get tired of counting because playing the snare drum is all about counting those rhythms. Let's try number 4, and this time I'm going to leave it up to you guys to make sure you're doing the correct sticking with right and left hand. If you can, use your voice to count out loud the beat numbers, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. If you're having troubles playing and counting out loud at the same time, then skip the counting and just play the song first. Then go back and try adding the counting with your voice. Here we go. Song number 4, counting with our voices and playing the sticking. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice job. That song was a little bit more challenging than our other ones because it threw in a rest at random times. Feel free to go back and practice that one a few more times. Try counting out loud this time and see if you can keep doing the pause or the pulse on the rest, doing the right sticking, but using your voice to count out loud every beat. I'm going to keep going on to song number 5. Here's song number 5, our third note. You'll see that we have a new type of rest. After our first 4 quarter notes, you see that there's a whole measure with just a box, a little black box. That's called a whole rest because it takes up the whole space. And a whole rest represents 4 of those squiggle rests. So instead of having to write in 4 little squiggle rests, the composer just puts that box to show you that we need to count for 4 rest beats. We rest for a whole note the same way we would for our 4 quarter rests. We pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same thing. We're just resting, but we still need to count the beat. You'll also notice that song number 5 does not have the sticking written in right, left, right, left. If you ever do not see sticking in a snare drum song, it means that you automatically just alternate left or right, left, right, left, back and forth. And we usually start with our right hand. So let's try song number 5. We're going to alternate sticking starting with our right hand. Don't forget to pulse on the whole rest for 4 pulses or 4 beats. If you can, start trying to count the beats out loud, just like I'm doing. If that's still a little tricky, then you can leave out the counting for now. Here's song number 5, starting with our right hand. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's that easy. Don't be scared by a whole rest. A whole rest just means it's 4 of those squiggles in a row. We only assigned songs number 2, 3, 4, and 5 this week. If those songs are challenging for you, then you can keep practicing those, and I look forward to playing along with you at our next music lesson. If songs 2, 3, 4, and 5 are really easy, and you can count out loud with your voice the beat numbers, and you would like a challenge, why don't we turn to page 6 and start playing through the top 2 songs on page 6. Again, I didn't assign these 2 songs in your lesson, but if you're looking for an extra challenge, flip over to songs 6 and 7, and we're going to play through them right now. Here's song number 6, 3-note combo. Remember, when you don't see the sticking, it automatically assumes that you go back and forth between your right and left hand, starting with your right hand. Don't forget to pulse on the rests and count out loud with your voice, the rhythm. Here we go. Song number 6. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How'd you do? That one was a lot more challenging than the ones on the other page. You might need to slow that down when you practice that one. Last but not least, here comes song number 7. A good tip when playing snare drum is to always be looking ahead to the next music note that's coming. So that as you're playing the note, you're already thinking about what's coming next, whether it's a rest with a pulse or another beat with your right or left hand. Let's try that with number 7. Always try and look one note ahead to see what's coming next so that you're ready. Here's number 7. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. Feel free to try these songs slower or faster if they are too easy or too challenging. That's all we have for today. I look forward to seeing you guys at our next music lesson.